an update about it because I find the textbook doesn't go through a lot of like it hasn't updated the future, like what's happening in economics. So I went through investing. So the extra credit assignment is focused on investing and finding the investing strategy from Charlie Munger's book, Poor Charlie's Almanac. So that'll be focused on you developing a strategy based on that book. So my investing philosophy is focused on investing in railroads through like the high dividends, high cash flow, high net income, high margin of safety, high moats. So CN Rail, CP Rail, you'll always need railroads to transport products. Then it's investing in banks like BMO, RBC, and TD. So deposits are invested into mortgages, and then they distribute about half of their dividend income and dividends. So that goes to, so you make 5%, 3 to 5% off your investment every year quarterly. And then banks always grow. That's a big part of it. And then Tesla, they're dominating they're going to dominate the energy market and create battery technology that outpaces all forms of energy. And then Microsoft, their company's been growing a lot in terms of massive growth in their sales, net income, net profit margin, and cash. And then also the minimum wage is too low. So David Card and Alan Kruger did a study on that, showing that the increase in the minimum wage would not reduce employment because a lot of businesses, the business owner makes more than enough money. The wealth goes to the business owner, not the workers. So like the Jeff Bezoses of the world and the Waltons, they all have mansions while the worker doesn't. So they can afford to pay the worker more, basically. Not every business, some businesses struggle, like restaurants do struggle, but owners can pay their workers more. So that's a big part of what should be updated. Also, the CPI isn't a flawed because it leaves out certain products like food and beverages, furniture, housing, transportation, healthcare, apparel, sports and recreation, funerals, haircuts, education, communication costs, tobacco, toys, and museum admissions. And then also it leaves out like switching to cheaper alternatives as well. And then the CPI does not capture innovation, quality improvements, technology, which is a problem. And then the unemployment rate is flawed because it doesn't include people who've given up looking for work. Because if they've given up looking for work, they won't be included as unemployed. And then they don't account for part-time workers looking for full-time work. So we're going to make those adjustments. And then using limit orders while stock trading is important because it limits the price you pay for it and it limits the price you sell at. So you won't pay higher or sell lower than the price you set for a limit order. And then diversification is important. So diversify your investments across many industries like railroad, banking, technology, car, and energy. So like own stocks across different industries and sectors. And then Squid Game shows the problems with getting money from loan sharks. So if a loan shark charges 8% in interest weekly on a $10,000 loan, you would owe $547,000 over a year. So like, don't borrow from loan sharks because you're gonna owe a lot more over time. And then even with interest rates on credit cards, like you'll owe 18% interest rate compounded monthly. You would owe almost $12,000 after taking out $10,000 at the beginning of the year. So debt is not good. And then investing is very important. because if you make your money, let's say you make this salary per year, that's the average salary in the US. And with inflation eating away at that money and you holding in cash over that period, you would make 734,000 in like over that period. And if you just invested in the S&P 500, you would make $4.7 million. So you make $4 million more by investing in the S&P 500. So investing, you make a lot more. And then like most of the wealth goes towards the owners. And right here, that goes through that. As you become richer, more of your wealth comes from ownership. So with people making $10 million or more, 15% of this income comes from salaries, wages, and paycheck. The other 85% comes from stock ownership benefits such as capital gains, dividends, and interest. That's why you gotta buy stock. And then Elon Musk, like almost all of his $300 billion of wealth is through stock ownership of SpaceX and Tesla. And almost 0% is from salary because he makes no salary. And Warren Buffett, he's made only $4 million from salary, and then over 100 billion in stock. Almost all of his wealth has come from stock. Yeah. And then Jeff Bezos, about $1.8 million of his wealth comes from salary, while about almost 200 billion comes from stock. And then 21st Century Business is made from a podcast or blog that has referral codes for companies. So you get a commission from every new referral. An e-commerce store where you sell merchandise in terms of t-shirts, hats, pants, mugs, and other products with your branding. And you can sell other things too, like car parts, groceries, tools, and many others. Advertising from Google Ads, where you get a fee from ad revenue. Tips and contributions from Patreon and other websites. So then glamping is a great business model because you can charge a lot more than a hotel. And I did research on one glamping business model, and they've grown their capacity by 425% over that 4-year period between 2017 and 2021. They charge about $200 to $550 per night per each stay, so average $375. So they would make about $1.8 million per year. It's a great business. And then with crypto, crypto is going to change monetary policy completely because there's a fixed supply of Bitcoin and Ether. So this will keep the value there because they can't print anymore. Because as they print more, it becomes worthless, basically. The only reason a currency has value is because it's rare and scarce. If you print so much of it, it's gonna be worthless. So governments can't print a ton to pay off their debts, which will be bad for them because they won't be able to use their currency to pay off their debts. Also, they won't be able to print money to grow the economy. Yeah, so, and they won't be able to lower the currency value through lower interest rates to increase exports. And then also TFSAs, you can contribute money to your TFSA, talk to your bank and the CRA about your contribution. It's usually when you turn 18. The years after you turn 18 is usually your contribution limit. So like for 2019 to 2021, it's $6,000 per year. And TFSAs are cool because if you make any capital gain, you could make $1 trillion in capital gains in TFSA, and there are no taxes in TFSA from any amount of capital gain. So yeah, that's basically wanted to go through. So we will start.